All right, this review is on the DOTOOL framing nailer. It is a nice framing nailer for what you get. And what you get is about an 8-pound hunk of weight that shoots flathead framing nails. Right now I have 3-inch nails in here. So yeah, it is, like I said, 8 pounds. That is not light by any stretch of the imagination. After just firing a couple of nails, your arm, shoulder will be tired, absolutely. I'm currently building shelves in my basement, as you can see here, and I have one shelf already built, and yeah, I feel it. My shoulders are burning. So, not lightweight. If you're going to be doing this, you know, if you're looking for a cheap framing nailer for profession, I don't know what you're doing. You should be looking a bit more expensive. You know, finding something 4 or 5 pounds, 5 or 6 pounds, maybe, I don't know, going up to like a Boss Stitch or a Makita, something like that. But for what you get for kind of a under $80, I think this is 60, 70 bucks or something like that. You do get a good, you know, functional framing nailer. It leaves things to be desired, of course, but again, it's $70. So this little rubber guard here that protects your wood, if that's important to you, from all the bouncing, because there are some, oh, here. So that's what it looks like without, and you can see that will do some damage if you care. This little thing is cheap. It does not stay on very well. It does not go on very easily. It's going to take me 2 hands to put it on, so I'll just leave it there. Yeah, so this part right here, the part that does all the actuating, you can see the spring totally exposed, right? Maybe in something that's going to cost you an extra 80, 90 bucks, maybe a little bit less. I'm sure that this is going to be enclosed, kind of, you know, help prevent you're just going to be throwing this around, setting it on the ground, you know, that kind of thing, and something like that's going to feel the brunt before something like this will, obviously. And this is solid, like I said, 8 pounds, make no mistake. This thing will not, won't break on a simple drop. But something like this, maybe, who's to say? There is no bump fire, so you have no way to actuate that. There's no selector switch here. I have a Makita finishing nail gun and a Makita brad nailer, both of which can bump fire, both of which have a dial for selector that kind of regulates the amount of air that's going to be going into it. So it's like, you know, turn it this way to drive the nail further into the wood, turn it this way to kind of not drive it so far. There is no such selector switch here with that, which kind of stinks. But again, $70, sub $100 nail gun. I've had 0 issues driving nails with this. I have used some other framing nailers, mainly my father-in-law's framing nailer. It's an old Boss Stitch, and that thing's held together with paper clips and duct tape, and that thing misfires or double fires. Sometimes it doesn't fire at all, and you gotta just really jam it in there, and then it boom, 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 you know, triple fires, and it's a pain. So this is why I wanted to get something for myself. I am not a builder, I'm not a framer. I just didn't want to keep borrowing his, especially since it's not that good anymore. So for me, this just kind of was a sweet spot. I don't need a $150, $180, maybe $200 framing nailer. I will say this though, the number one thing, apart from all of this that I've already discussed that I wish I had, was a case. My Makita nailers come with a nice hard shell case. I am a Makita fanboy for that reason. Well, for many reasons, but that reason included. Yeah, so as it is, this thing just sits in my garage. I don't know what to do with it. I don't know if I'm going to find a bag that's going to be big enough, or if they make a generic you know, they meaning whoever, China, I'm sure, but if someone makes a generic sized hard case or toolbox or something I can fit this in, because nothing breaks down on this. You can't take this apart, right? I mean, you're not going to be unscrewing this just to pull it in and out every time. I wouldn't unscrew it at all. Yeah, so it's got a, it is a 21 degree nailer, and I am bought some framing nails. Yeah, 3-inch. Let's see, 21 degree, and they drop into this slot here. It's easy enough, like most all of them. Just pull this lever back. It'll ride freely until you get to the very end, in which it'll stop. Excuse me here for a second. You can just take your nails, drop them in, slide them down, and then this little button here at the end, push it in, and off she goes, all loaded up. So this will hold, I think, 3 full. I think I've got 3 in here once. 2.5, I'd say, because you don't feed them from the back. Like, you don't feed them in here. I've had some where you slide them in, but this is top fed, so you're going to be, whoops, sorry, you're going to lose some space in there. But yeah, 2.5, something like that. The cap right here that expels the air, it appears to be adjustable with a little Allen wrench or hex wrench there. I haven't messed with it. Again, only thing I have to compare it to are my Makitas, but on my Makitas, this cover spins freely, right? Which is nice, because if I need to kind of reach over something and kind of come in at this angle, I can turn the dial and have the air expelled opposite my face. And I've already given myself a bit of a surprise here, having to crawl over and have my head kind of in this upper area, and I'm kind of driving underneath me, and of course the air goes right into my face, and yeah, that kind of startled me for a minute. So can't adjust it. Maybe you can loosen that and adjust it and tighten it down, but I sure as heck like being able just to twist it independent without even having a tool there. So, and they do include a couple of Allen wrenches. There's a little bottle of oil, keep it lubricated. It comes with a pair of safety goggles, which are, you know, plastic. They're not going to be stopping. Well, they'll stop some stuff, but you know, if you're going to be doing eye protection, you should probably buy a better pair than what comes in there. So, all in all, it has done the trick for me. Like I said, I am not a professional. I just wanted to stop borrowing my father's, and this one is better than his, because his is, you know, 100 years old anyway. So I hope this review helped. It has certainly done its job thus far in helping me build these basement shelves. So appreciate you watching the video and hope it helped. Have a good day. Cheers.
This is a kind of generic. I think I see others that are quite similar to it, but at a good price. And if it is generic, it's one of the cheaper ones that I've seen. Framing nailer. There are some positives to it, and there are some negatives, and I'm not framing, and I don't have a call to, so I'm going to just give initial impressions. First, the inclusion of safety glasses. I don't know if that's common, but it's actually kind of a nice thing, and they could be helpful. Now, I have to admit, I don't often use safety glasses. Oil, of course, various hex wrenches for working on it. The nails drop in that slot right there in the top, and you pull this back. trying to do this single-handedly. Pull it back and drop them in, and then this pulls them forward. Now, a few things to mention. First, this is on the heavier side. It's not extremely heavy. There's some Metabos that are the same basic weight, about 8.8 pounds, close to 9 pound tool, which will grow tiring. I see that there's a boss stitch that's a framing nailer that's 4 pounds. That's going to be much easier on my arms than this thing, but this is much easier on my wallet. Nice rubber handle. There is no contact actuation, no bump firing on this thing. It's just single sequential. Few notes that, you know, I noticed the drive spring that pushes the head back down. This is fully exposed rather than in a little tube. That's probably not the best, you know. You can almost, I mean, banging this thing around, you're gonna, I think at some point, you're gonna knock that thing out. Wish it were a little shielded, but it's not. But it is deep in there and fully on a rather long rod sticking up there. And so, you know, it's not the worst of things, especially at the price. The rubber tip at the end, I've worked on putting it on. It shields it from the, you know, the more castellated form of a, well, here, I'll show you. Non. It took me a while to get this thing on. This is a non-marring tip. No, I'm going to show you. It's a non-marring tip, and that's what's underneath it. That's to keep it, in case you want to save the wood from the bangs of this, you can put this on, but it really doesn't fit very well, and it was hard to get on initially. Just doesn't. So a few things, but overall, I'm kind of pleased. This is something I haven't had. I've had trim nailers, staplers, all sorts of other things. I don't know much framing. So when I do, I borrow my son-in-law's. Now I have my own. I don't have to go and borrow it. I've got a pancake compressor, and it'll drive this, and so I'm happy to have it.
Pressure, fast heartbeat, shortness of breath, or muscle pain. Before getting Tepezza, tell your doctor if you have diabetes, IBD, or are pregnant or planning to become pregnant. Tepezza may raise blood sugar even if you don't have diabetes, and may worsen IBD such as Crohn's disease or ulcerative colitis.